Hey guys, welcome back. I have a bunch of stuff on Mr. Jones I want to share with you today, so let's get started. First thing, I want to share a video with you from Friday, a little project I did. Hey guys, out here working on the car on a Friday evening. Got a little beverage, messing with the small stuff. Small stuff, what takes the longest. It's this column shifter. When I got the car, it would take 3 silverback gorillas to pull this thing down. Over the years of having the car, I've been slowly just putting penetrating oil on it with very little success. I've noticed grinding in the shift column as I shift, or try to shift. I finally figured out the culprit. It's this bushing that rides on the column shifter, and it was full of rust. So we're going to get it cleaned up, greased, and put back together. It's all back together. I used some super aggressive sandpaper, I think it's 60 grit, cleaned off the metal portion of this assembly here. The bushing here, cleaned it up, sprayed it out with some brake clean, wiped it out, and then I added some transmission assembly lube to the whole deal just to lube it up. Time for the test. Oh boy. I bet you it didn't feel that good brand new. One more project down. Okay, so this weekend's project was supposed to be the fuel system, but I didn't get all the parts in that I needed, so this is what I have at this point. We have hard line 3/8 and then some -8-6 line. This is a 380 liter per minute fuel pump, then a fuel filter, a whole bunch of AN fittings. So hopefully next weekend this will be the project. So I'm still missing the new sock for the pickup, which I'll show you in the new video next week. And then we're missing the fuel filler neck so we can put the fuel tank in. So hopefully we'll get that and get that project done next week. Here's the radiator I chose. It's a 22-inch aluminum. It's a 3-row. This is bigger than a standard V8 A-body radiator. In fact, I think it was labeled for a Charger. So anyway, whenever I ordered my radiator hoses, I ordered it for a 69 Valiant V8, and the inlet and outlets come out in different spots, so these hoses aren't going to work because this radiator hose is supposed to be about like that. So there's no way it's going to work over here. So I got to figure out my radiator hose situation, but I think this is going to be plenty to cool. I'm waiting on the fan to come, and also I'm going to build a fan shroud for this. Inside the house, I have a couple of big bulky items I don't want to drag out here. Inside the house is the new windshield and the gasket. I got it from Auto City Auto Glass, I believe. And then also an 8-point competition engineering roll cage. Alright, I went in and closed the garage because the neighbor's mowing grass, but this is my favorite part. This is what I've been wanting to tell y'all for a while. We made a change to the build on Mr. Jones, so let me show you. Here we go, guys. So I decided to turbocharge and fuel inject Mr. Jones. We have here a GT45 turbo. It's just an inexpensive unit, journal bearing. So that's a good starter piece. We'll use that for a while, see how it goes. And then the FiTech EFI 8, 1200 horsepower. The reason I chose this unit is because it's made for turbos, superchargers, and nitrous. And the reason I went with the 1200 horsepower is because I'm planning on using E85. And the one below this wouldn't support the power that I'm going to try to make. I'm super excited about this stuff, but let's walk over here to the car real quick. And that radiator that I just showed you is going to take up a lot of room here. So we're planning on setting the turbo about right here. And then the downpipe will go out right there through that little hole. So it's going to be kind of a tight fit here. And for the exhaust, the plan is to use some stock manifolds off a truck. This passenger side fits well, and it's going to run backwards, so it's actually a driver side manifold going on the passenger side. And then on this side, we had some clearance issues. So we've already started working with this manifold, so let me show you that. This is the driver side manifold we've been working on. I started out kind of just taking chunks out of it to clear the steering, but it just didn't look right. So we decided to take this whole piece off, and this is just on there tack welded. I'm going to take that off and put flat metal on it. But and also I'm going to put thicker metal than that. but once it clears, we're just going to get a nice thick piece of metal, fill this in, and then weld it all the way around. And I went ahead and did a test weld on this piece. This was a piece of exhaust pipe, and I welded it on, and then for strength I got a pair of pliers, and I was able to bend that thing completely straight. So the welds are going to be plenty strong to put this plate in right here. And as far as exhaust flow, this manifold back here was, I think, 2¼ inches thick, just coming from this one cylinder. So us taking off a little bit, it's still going to be plenty of flow. Now on the ends, I thought about welding on V-bands, but I think I'm just going to leave it like this. So with the stock manifolds run backwards, the exhaust is going to flow on the driver's side. It's going to flow down here, and we're going to have to figure out how to do a cross pipe and then back up and then merge this pipe into it. The passenger side, we're going to merge that into it and have a collector right here so the turbo can sit on that. Also, I went ahead and bought a front mount intercooler. It's not here yet, but we're going to try to squeeze it in somehow. I don't know. We might have to move some brackets and stuff like that, but we're going to try to get a front mount intercooler in here. And one thought was also, once the radiator and fan assembly is put together, if there's enough room, we can just space it out from the core support a little bit, give us a little bit more room for that intercooler. So when this car started going together, the original idea for the channel was to put a stock Magnum engine in it, see how fast it goes, and then start throwing go fast parts at it. So put a cam, port the head, stuff like that, see how fast we can get it going just off of cheap parts. Well, after thinking about it, if I put exhaust on the car, put a carburetor on the car and all that stuff, whenever I decide to do the turbo, it would all have to come off, and that would be wasted money. So we decided to go ahead and do the turbo. So now that we're doing a turbo engine, the plan kind of stays the same. We're going to have a stock 360 and put a really good tune in it, and then start adding boost until something breaks. And the reason for that is I want to see what these engines are capable of, and also I want to see what the weak points are, so that when the next engine goes in, we can either have rod bolts, main bolts, head gaskets, whatever part is the weak part, we can replace and run as much boost as possible, honestly. With the turbo set up, we kind of been looking at things, and it's going to take some creative engineering and fabrication to get this thing to fit, because once you get that radiator in there and try to figure out the intercooler and put the turbo in here, it's going to be pretty tight. So we have some work cut out for us on this one, but I think it's going to be worth it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the turbo and the fuel injection. I think it's going to be really fun. Also, help support the channel, hit that like button. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this edited for you guys, and then I'm going to come back out here, start working on maybe the shifter linkage getting put in and this manifold. That way we can get this party started. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.